Okay, so it looks to me like Tableau has moved away from using these kind of joins, logical joins like we've been using, and they're moving towards this thing called relationships. So I thought it was kind of interesting and wanted to just do a quick little video on this and look at first. I discovered that I'm having kind of a problem looking at using some of the joins and throwing it out there to the community to see what the heck's going on with joins. What's going on there? So let me explain and just show you something with a pure example. Okay, so look at this Excel sheet. We have three different sheets. One on products. It's got product ID. That's going to be the field that we're going to merge on, and the interesting feature of the product that we have that we're trying to bring in, not just the name, but mainly the price. Okay, we're looking at price quantities. Those are kind of things that we're interested in looking at elasticities and a bunch of other stuff. Okay, so we have product ID, and on the order detail side, we have, so there's the order ID, product ID, which would be the merge field, and then quantities. So quantities and order dates. Those are the relevant fields we're interested in. So when I pull these into Tableau now, I've got them here. So look, if we just go products, so we got products, and now, oops, I double clicked it. My computer is acting up. Let me remove this. So now to do a join, you actually have to click in on the and get into this relationship field, and then pull in order details like so. And you see we have an inner join, and looks pretty good when I look at it here. Okay, now I've got my preview. I've got quantities. I've got price. Let's take a look. It's matching on product ID. Okay, so property ID, product ID. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and close that. And then when I go to my worksheet, now this is the strange thing, we can see that there's no variation in, so we can see from our worksheet, there's absolutely zero variation in terms of price over time, because price is just defined at the product level and not at the order detail level. So there's no variation. There should be absolutely no variation in price over time based upon the structure of our data set. Now, when we go actually take a look at it, let's go back and take a look at it and look at that variation. So what would we need to do? Let's go ahead and take price, throw it here, and let's take date. Where's the order date? Put it in the columns, and let's specify this, say, by month, like that. Okay, now this is going to be an aggregate, so maybe that'd be kind of strange, maybe to think of it going over time still even that way, but okay, fine. Now, if I wanted to filter, let's filter and isolate a specific product ID. Okay, so a product ID, let's go ahead and filter it, and we'll say we'll just look at product ID number 2. Now, looking back at our data again to remind ourselves, there should be no variation in this because product ID 2 has one price defined here. This is just a price, has no variation. So there's no variation in price. Okay, price is not on our order details, so we should have no variation here. When I filter it, I expect to have a flat line. Okay, let's go ahead and look at it. But I don't see a flat line, do I? Interestingly, look, prices says it's 25 in September, 10 in November. How did they come up with this? Okay, you see the underlying data structure, and to show you that there's no weird things going on with the data set not matching, let's just go back and look at the data source, and let's just remove the order details. And again, you'll see that we have, oh, now this is taken off, but let's go ahead and see that again, we just have product ID. This is the unique identifier for the product sheet, and there's a singular price. So how did the heck do we end up with variation over time, guys? I am stumped, because if I were to go and define and interjoin, okay, say in something like Python, I just would not expect to see this kind of result. And I have no idea what's going on. Interestingly enough, when we go back and use relationships now, so there's products, let's look at order details and just pull in a relationship here, okay, and then go back to our sheet and look at order date and columns, and I'll look at order date, I'll change it back to month, and it's what I expect it to be, a flat line. Okay, so it looks like relationships, when I use the relationships method for combining data, I'm getting what I would expect to see, but when I use the joins, something really funky and weird is going on. And because this is a drag and drop kind of interface, and it's just kind of like you sort of have, there's this trade-off between simplicity of executing some analysis and control and actually knowing what you're doing. Like in something like Python, you really have full control and you know what's going on. Here, a lot of stuff's going on under the hood, and I just don't really know exactly what's going on. And that's a big mystery to me. What the heck's going on, Tableau? I would like to know. If anybody knows, if anybody has any clue about what's happening here, please comment. And let's get to the bottom of this, guys, because something funky is happening here. But it looks to me like the relationships do the more proper job. The one thing I will say is when I look at the cardinality, it says many to many here, which is default. I think that's a strange way to join data. Generally, it's not how I would do it. And actually, by the data set, you'll see that product ID or product ID actually should uniquely identify the data set in the master set and should have multiple. So this actually should be a one-to-many merge, not a many-to-many. Many-to-many is just as normal. I never have really used, I mean, who uses many-to-many? It's just like a big cluster. That's very strange. That's another weird thing that I'm not quite understanding here is many-to-many. It's just, I don't quite get it, but whatever the reason. So if you have any insights to any of the things, the mysteries that I've kind of unfolded, love to hear them. Otherwise, it just looks like, again, overall, looks like the relationships are doing a better job. So I don't know. Anyway, that's it, guys, and take care.